Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today we've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to share with you guys. This is the Kershaw Federalist, which is a double detent slip joint 2022 offering from Kershaw. So very interesting. We're going to talk all about it. Thanks so much to Kershaw for sending it in for me to take a look at. I'm going to be linking this guy right down below. There's a link. Well, these are completely and totally available right now, so you can check that out if you'd like. Thanks to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. There's a link for Patreon down below, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. All right, let's go ahead and get a measurement of this knife. Overall length of the, what's going on here? The Federalist coming in at about 7.5 inches. A pretty good sized knife. Blade length is coming in at about, I'm going to say 3.25. Cutting edge, just shy of 3.25. Just barely shy. Size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat Model 1 and the Ontario Rat Model 2. It's just a hair bigger than the Rat 2, but it is definitely thinner. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit. How about up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3? So you can see here, very similar, just a hair longer than the Spyderco Para 3. I think it's important to point out it does have quite a bit more cutting edge. Last but not least, the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue, and the Benchmade Bug Out. Very, very, very similar in size and cutting edge to the Benchmade Bug Out. Let's go ahead and do carry profile here. So this is a, by the way, double detent, meaning there is a detent ball that allows the blade to snap into the open position. And then there's a little mid-stop or catch here, which is also the detent ball doing its thing. And then there is a closed position. This is not like a traditional slip joint where the tension back here on the spring bar or the spine, you know, like a traditional slip joint. It doesn't function that way. It functions with detent balls. So that's what you're looking at here. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. You can see here, very thin. Definitely a thin knife. How about length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3? You can see here, it's not a long object and it's not a tall object, so it's not going to be that overly cumbersome in the pocket. Let's go ahead and weigh it. What are we looking at for materials? We are looking at micarta, some steel, and then we have what appears to be, let's get that flashlight on it real quick so we can see. Boy, actually, that might just be a plastic or, you know, injectional plastic spacer is what it looks like to me. And then we have a CPM 154 blade. Pretty good materials. Definitely happy with that, especially considering the price point. Not the only thing that you consider when we talk about price, but good. Let's go ahead and get to ounces. Weight on this guy's coming in at 2.15 ounces, so ratios, people will be very happy. This is going to be an easy object to carry except for one thing, which many of you I'm sure have already pointed out in the comment section. It doesn't have a pocket clip. That bums me out. You can get a slip with a clip. Cat in the hat. But yeah, you can do that if you want to. Some people prefer to carry knives like this in a slip with other things. I would say if you are the type of person who likes to carry a knife and a pen and a flashlight and a ferro rod and a pry bar and a grappling hook and a grenade launcher, then maybe you would want, you know, a slip or something like that, and this would be, you know, then it wouldn't matter, right? But for a lot of people who just like for me, truthfully, I like to carry just a knife. Sometimes a flashlight, right? Depends on what I'm doing. I just want a clip. You can get a little key ring with the little deep carry clippy things that you can get on eBay for like 15 bucks. I honestly would have just preferred a traditional pocket clip, and that really kind of bummed me out. So yeah, it'll be easy to, I mean, as far as it won't be cumbersome to carry, but carrying this, you know, in your side pocket while it's flopping around like this, or, you know, you can put it in your, you know, sometimes I carry my Victorinox Cadet in my rear right pocket and I just let it sit at the bottom of the pocket like this. That's kind of annoying. Truthfully, I really wanted it to have a clip. But it doesn't. So anyways, moving on here, let's go ahead and do a hardware check. Get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the description in the section that talks about my tools. I think that pivot is going to be a T8. Let's give it a go. There we go. T8, and then I'm not even going to check these screws. I know that these are T6, which, you know, it's like, bummer, but I think these are Chicago ends. You can see they're threaded all the way through, so that's just one screw going through the other side. So pretty minimal hardware. As long as you have quality tools, you're patient and not aggressive, you should be okay. Let's go ahead and measure blade stock thickness. Boy, that's a thin blade. Very, very, very thin. Here we go. 84 thousandths. Am I on the flat? No, I wasn't on the flat. Hold on. How about right here? Okay, it's less than that. It's about 80 thousandths. That is a thin blade. Very, very thin. Which I think is probably appropriate for this style of knife because slip joints they don't need ultra robust geometry for ultra robust jobs. It's just not what they're made to do. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about this knife. So first off, this is a good looking knife. This is a modern traditional, and you know, it's rare, but there are times where I am attracted aesthetically to these types of knives. Like true modern knives, you know, they have a lot of wood. Maybe you guys like wood. I'm not really a wood guy. I like micarta and G10 and carbon fiber and titanium and stuff like that. That's just my preference, right? Not really a wood guy. So you know, with a lot of traditionals, you know, utilizing materials like that, not all of them, but a lot of them do. I'm kind of, I like the more modern stuff. I really like how the micarta looks on this guy. I wish they had a bunch of different choices. I don't think that they do. I think it's just this natural, or I think they might call it OD green micarta. In this case, it's almost camouflage with the background. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I like it. Ergonomically, extremely comfortable. And this is one of those things where, you know, because it does not have a clip, it's extra comfortable, right? The width of the scales is not very much, not a lot of handle to hang onto, but what handle is there is very comfortable, and you can pretty easily, if your hands are the same size as mine or similar, you can get a pretty comfortable 4-finger grip on this guy. Always funny to me when there's jimping that extends out to the spine of the blade on a non-locking knife, because it's like, oh, I'll just bear down on that. Oops. Yeah, it breaks away from the detent. Why? Knife designers, why do you guys do this? Like, there's no reason to ever have jimping. Don't give anybody any reason to put their thumb up on the spine of this blade. There's no lock. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. Put some back here, sure, right? But they didn't do that. They only put it on the blade. That makes zero sense to me. But okay, don't put your fingers up there. Edges all nicely chamfered down. I do like this. It's a way to keep the pivot captive, and at the same time, it looks nice. A little shield, a little crest there, right? Pretty nice. The blade is also very nice. They decided not to do a satin finish, which hallelujah, because they're just sort of dull, slightly reflective, tumbled finish. Actually looks really, really good, and I appreciate that. Edges up here on the spine, nicely knocked down, which is good. I prefer that. It says Kershaw right here, and then on the other side, you can see this is an in-house design. That little logo right there, and then the number 4320 Kai USA and CPM 154. Not too bad as far as billboarding goes. Nice clip point blade, which, I don't know, sort of lends to the traditional look. This guy gets razor thin. Let's see if we can capture the taper here. Yeah, it gets very, very thin. This is gonna slice pretty easily. You might get a little bit of stuff caught up in that nail nick, but you know what? Nail nicks have been around, or whatever. I always call it a nail nick, and somebody always corrects me and tells me it's something else. Whatever you want to call it. They've been around for a long time, collecting gunk for a long time, and they don't seem to be bothering the people who grew up with them. So there you go, whatever. Nice sharpening tool right here. I think just a little bit of a smile, just not too bad. Not too bad. Pretty good, right? Shouldn't be difficult to sharpen. I love CPM 154. If you've never experienced it, I think it's one of the best, most well-rounded EDC steels in existence. Very, very good. So happy with that. The double detent thing. You know, here's the thing. Let me say this. It works just fine. But it does take away from a very specific satisfaction that's involved with a good, like, traditional slip joint, where you have the back spring or the spine spring or whatever, where as you lift it out. Now, first off, there should definitely be a distinct mid-stop or half-stop. I really like it. Like, for example, you know, like the Benchmade Proper and Hinder Slippy are two examples of knives that don't have those, and they're bothersome. Or if they do, they're real mushy. There should be a boom, stop. Now, this one has it, but it's a sort of detent ball thing is what's going on. There's another, you know, little divot there for the detent ball to fall into. And then you come out and then it snaps into place. I like the ones where there's an enormous amount of tension right here and then it's snap, right? And then you come down and, you know, distinct mid-stop, and then you come down to here and then snap, right? That's what I like. And I think slip joint people also like that. Now, if you're not a traditional slip joint, person, you might pick this up and go, oh, I actually prefer this because the pull, right? I think you slip joint people measure pull strength on like 1 to 10. And I'm not a slip joint guy, but I've seen that before when I went through my Geck phase, right? You might go, well, I don't like a big heavy pull, right? I want it to be pretty easy, and it is, right? We make this clear. This works, it's functional, and to the average person, you're gonna go, yeah, it's pretty convenient, pretty straightforward, nice and crisp. I can use it as long as you don't push right here. But for those of you who, you know, prefer the traditional slip joint feeling, you're not gonna get that from this. And I'm kind of, even as somebody who's not like a super slip joint guy, I'm kind of siding with you guys. I don't like this. This is fine. It works. Totally functional. But I would have preferred I think they had an opportunity here to really bring something super duper cool in the modern slip joint department, like, to the table. And I think is a little bit missed here with this double detent thing. You can actually see, yeah. So I'll zoom in for you and let you take a look at both detent balls there. So you can see them on both sides. One on the top and one on the bottom. So that's what's causing all the ruckus. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the detent thing. But outside of that, you know, the action's fine. We are, as far as I can tell, running on phosphor bronze, which is completely and totally fine and absolutely expected. I think it would be weird to run on bearings. But anyways, yeah. There's not really much else to talk about here. There's a lanyard hole, okay? I'm glad it's there, at least for a pocket clip option. It would have actually made me mad had they not included a pocket clip and not included a lanyard hole. I have no interest in including a lanyard, but at least people who really, really want a pocket clip, you at least can get a little, you know, little key ring and a little, you know, extender clip thing, right? If you just can't bear to carry it any other way, which honestly, I get it. I feel the same way. So yeah, and then the other side of the knife is much the same as the front, except it is the adjustment side. As far as, you know, we're not going to judge up and down blade play because you push down on the spine and it's going to disengage or break away from the detent. But left and right blade play, there is none. It's very nice. The action, I imagine it'll smooth up over time. It just feels a little bit tight. This is a brand new knife from Kershaw. No detent lash or anything like that, so that's nice and solid. And then your centering is dead on. So really, the stuff that I have to complain about, depending on who you are, it might be a big deal and it might not be an issue at all, right? For me, the pocket clip thing is a big deal. That's a big deal. I really wish that this had a pocket clip, right? You may not think so, but I really wanted this thing to have a pocket clip. The, you know, double detent thing, it's fine. It will work, right? So the way that it is set up, it's hard to, it's just like, I want something else. Like it's more of a want. Like, does the knife need it? I think the knife needs a pocket clip. That's my opinion. It doesn't need to have that traditional slip joint feel. I just want it, right? So that's kind of a medium issue. The rest of this is just pretty good, right? This will work. In its current form, it will work. If you're the type of person who carries a knife in a slip or a pouch or whatever you call those things with the clips on them, or maybe you don't, you just put the whole thing in your pocket, I think, you'll be good to go. You carry a single knife and you don't care about pocket clips, well, here you go, right? As it sits, though, this is still recommendable, and I'll tell you why, because it comes in at, this is a USA-made knife, sporting good materials, nice quality overall. Fit and finish is excellent on this. And it's coming in at $108, which is not bad at all. US made, right? I understand they might, little parts here and there might not be, from here, but yeah, not too bad. I'm not super duper upset considering, other slip joint options, even the stuff that's foreign made, it's like the same price or higher. So yeah, it's all right. Not my favorite thing in the whole world, but enough to be like, yeah, if you're looking for specifically a non-locking knife, but you still want something full size and you want it to be well made and you're big into the US thing, yeah, this is pretty good. I gotta admit, it's pretty boring. I would have been way more interested in it had it felt like a traditional slip joint and had a pocket clip, but in its current form, sure, it's all right. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I do appreciate Kershaw for sending this in and letting me take a look. Like I said, I will link this guy right down below so you guys can check it out if you want to. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.